affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on.
My name is Abina Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pocondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Focus on Liberia. For Liberia, Liberia. For Liberia, From Monday to Sunday. From Monday to Sunday. It's Focus on Liberia. Talk about home affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday. Focus on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of On Point. We want to say Happy Father's Day to all of you, our panelists, our friends and families out there. Thank you for tuning in. We know this is a very important day for us. Your parents, your wives, your daughters should be taking you out for dinner. Wherever you are, we appreciate you taking your time to come and spend the day with us. I see Mr. Morris is here, Mr. Kamara is here, Mr. Booty is here. Mr. Booty, I don't know whether you are celebrating Father's Day at the same time as we do in Great Britain.
Yeah. Don't laugh, Mr. Kamara. We celebrate Mother's Day on a different day, but we celebrate Father's Day on the same day. Yes.
Happy Father's Day to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show here for you. We're going to do all we can to make sure that we leave a little early so you can go spend some time with your family. It is actually very important, and we appreciate the fact that you are going to leave your Father's Day event to come and watch us. We'll look at your comments. We'll love what you say, and we'll respond. Mr. Kamara, welcome to Father Day. Father Day to you. Special. I know you're the only male in your house, just like I am. You are a
Yeah,
father. You are an uncle. You are everything. How is your day going, sir?
my day is going good, and I just couldn't miss this day on point today. It's my day as a father, therefore I must showcase. I mean, the world is already punching us down. Why not we celebrate ourselves, right?
That's correct. And even more important today, the end of Abraham's Day. Talk to us a little bit about Abraham Day.
Well, Abraham Day is one of them days that the people of the Islamic faith use to eat a lot of meat, I would say. Abraham Day is the day they recognize the Prophet, Sayyidina Abraham, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it comes with so many other things. The day where you seek blessings as well, the day where you give your prayers to God and ask for forgiveness. It's the day you actually give to receive in return in abundance. So, it has a lot of meaning.
Great. Mr. Booty, I know you're not a theologian, but Abraham Day in the Holy Bible, I guess, is the time that God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son. And based on his faith, he was about to do so, and God brought down a sheep. I don't know if you know about that story, but can you make reference to that?
It's the same story. That's what they do.
Oh,
Slaughter
my
sheep,
brother, you need that
sacrifice.
Mr. Booty now. You can't be that thing. Thank you, man. Yeah. The
No,
talking
no,
about the
I
Christian
just
own.
wanted to show the similarity between the two.
The
That's
No,
all.
man,
but that you
he,
really talking about the
he,
Muslim own,
the
the
man,
Christian
the man
own.
is an imam and a pastor at the same time. Go ahead.
Exactly. Wait a minute, you all want to play. Pick your lane. No, yeah, obviously, yeah. I think as a Christian, I'm quite familiar with the story of Abraham, and when he took Isaac to the mountain to sacrifice him, and then obviously God was testing him to see how strong his faith was. So I think obviously to all my Muslim brothers, and especially to my brother Ali here with us today, happy Eid Mubarak, and I hope that, like you said, it's a meat eating day. You look like you've eaten a lot of meat, which is why you're interrupting everybody. You're not even giving Mr. Morris a chance to even say to
They
introduce
know
himself.
Mr. More not
Talking,
need chance.
talking,
You can
talking,
take your
talking.
own chances. He
So
ready to be a
please
boy.
calm down. We probably eat meat today. Like,
At least not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Mr. Booty, I know England is playing today. I'm watching the game right now. They're playing Serbia.
oh yeah,
Serbia
I've got it here as well. We're up 1-0, so that's good.
is 1-0, and it looks like this may be finally a year. Mr. Morris, how you doing that young man house? They state of 10,000 lakes.
The weather is kind of humid, and I'm also happy Father's Day to you all again, like a booty. I think Father's Day, like we were talking about, the Quran and the Bible, is about sacrifice. The fathers we have a thankless job, and it's a manly thing not to be asking for praises and appreciation. But I think fathers know that the children know that the father is always there for them. And those who are fathers and active fathers, and not just by birth, or actually in their kids' life, we want to appreciate you all. To all of the fathers on this platform, including Mr. Job, Mr. C, the Duke, I'm sure maybe Sharif, Salif, Mr. Salif, all the fathers on this platform, we appreciate it. As men, we don't want to hear all the time because it's our duty, and we feel a sense of responsibility to do it as a God-given right. So mothers, we honor you, but fathers, we appreciate you also because of what you do. And happy Father's Day to all of you out there, and to the gentlemen that we share this platform with as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, do us a favor, please share this show in your network with your friends. I know today is a very busy day. We are not going to keep you too long, but we have a duty. If these men, these fathers, can take their Father's Days off to come and bring you the news and the debate on issues transpiring in Liberia at this point, it tells you what kind of commitment we have to you. So we appreciate you tuning in. Please share the show. As you know, there are a lot of topics trending in Liberia, and we had a very tough time narrowing down to three. We're talking about, on the broader scheme, $48 million World Bank activities to transform agriculture in Lofa. We got that. We got Tiawan Gonglo criticized the Unity Party-led government for violating its own tenure law. Well, that was another topic. Liberia Senate, they are debating. They changed the rule to tighten the grip on confirmation of Supreme Court justices and tenure position. We also talk about Liberia. Joseph Walker official failed to present $25 million cargo tracking agreement. They blame it on the government of the CDC. And then in the editorial, it says here Walker bloating the government. They have sent, I think the chairman of the party sent about 50 names to the central bank to be hired. They are bloating the payroll everywhere else. And Front Page Africa uncovers that the Walker government mysteriously granted, they call it compassionate leave to convicted felon, former Chief Justice Glorious Musu Scott. So we were able to narrate that. And the fourth one here is the LGBT, the lesbian, gay community. They said there is a shortage of lubricant in Liberia. Some big stuff, and they are appealing to the Liberian government to help in that way. They appeal to the international community, so they want people to intervene. But we're able to narrow it down to 3 topics today because of our day. One is the Bassa Senate retreat, that debacle in Grand Bassa County. They spent $750,000. Some people said no. Prince Moyo went on Spoon and said they only gave me $10,000. So they're saying they gave all the senators $10,000 each, and they are 30 senators. So if you multiply it by 10,000, that's $300,000 just from the senators alone, not counting catering, hotels, entertainment, all of that. We discussed that. We discussed a major development. Mr. Martin Cully, the so-called Rescue Rambo, has retreated. He had gotten off the train. He resigned yesterday, from the Joseph Walker government. Some people say he was forced to resign because he uncovered and unearthed and published that Grisby's baby mother has been hired as a chief of protocol. And it rubbed Mr. Grisby the wrong way, and he had to resign. Number 3, the Western Cluster. The Western Cluster, you remember the president went and said, we'll shut this down. And everybody was clapping for the president. The president went to receive $200,000 cash. The next thing we knew, the ban was lifted. And now Western Cluster came up with this fake news that at some point they will spend $5 billion and this and that, and the Liberian people are not happy. The presidential appointment continues. Complaint increases at LPP and UPPU wing cries for or accuse the present government for nepotism. Nepotism in the government. That's from the UPP itself. I mean, the LPP and the UP. They are saying what they have worked for, what they have earned, has been taken away from them and is given to family. So, Dr. Booty, let me start with you. We're playing tic-tac-toe here. So I'm going to start with you here. Let's go with the rescue guys getting off. I don't know if you read the article where Martin Collins extended his resignation. He's no longer, he said he will return to his usual career, which is advocacy, but he can no longer stand the way this government is being run.
Well, I think, first of all, I think Mr. Kamara can definitely take a leaf out of Mr. Collins' book, in the sense that if the story in the publication is true, join this government, so the asset recovery team, with an understanding that they were going to be doing work to help the Liberian people. Now, once he realized that there were things that didn't align with his principles, which clearly is why he's resigned, he decided that the best thing to do, which we've seen in the West, you guys live in the United States. You see this all the time when an official of government has become compromised because of conflict of interest or whatever, they tend to step away, or where there's a disagreement in principles, people step away because they have morals that they want to live by. And I think we need to commend him for walking away, but also for putting out there information that can highlight some of the nepotism, some of the wrongdoings and missteps that this president is having. So no, I think personally I would like to commend him for walking away. I think what normally happens in Liberia, unfortunately, is that when these things happen and we start to clap for people, before you know, someone else comes out with a different version of the story. He probably wanted something that he didn't get and got upset. But we hope that that is not the case, because I think it would be a good show to other partisans of the Unity Party that, look, you can be a partisan of a party, but if the government is not doing what it promised the Liberian people that it was going to do, then you owe it to the Liberian people to walk away and to say why you're walking away, so people know that we still have people of principle in Liberia. And yeah, I think until something different can come out for us to hear a different version of the story, we have to commend Mr. Colley and wish him well in his advocacy to try and make Liberia a better place.
Thank you, Mr. Kamara. Here we are. The young man is saying, some people, even though those are who are critical, people are saying that they welcome Mr. Padmore.
Thank you very much.
There are people within the government and people outside the government say they should give the government a little more time to do to self-correct. But according to Martin Colley, it's almost impossible to give this government time to self-correct when they are doing more damage in the first 6 months than he thinks that the trend is not abating at all.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that a man of my caliber will sit here to promote Martin Colley. But for the benefit and respect for you guys, I would say one or two things. Martin Colley has the right to join a group, and he has the right also to leave that group. What I do know is that, and it's not right, but there is a clock and a click in the governing process right now, and folks like Martin Colley feel entitled. They're not getting enough water. When I say water, I mean information like they needed to. So the only people who are getting this information are people who are not capable of analyzing the information correctly, like one of the biggest networks. They are the ones getting this information, and this information has been stolen and sent to them, by the way. They're even bribing to get those information. Other than that, so Martin Colley and others feel put aside. But let me tell you one thing that you may debate, and at the end of the day, you realize Martin Colley and others outcasting in the asset recovery unit is intentional. Remember, initially, when the president announced some of these people as members of the asset recovery, they were stalwarts of the Unity Party and other scholars who told the president and complained a lot that most of the people put on this team are not fit for that area. But the president, being who he is, he wanted to watch and see how they do. But now there are other strong guys in the unit whose name I will not call, the most qualified ones, are completely ignoring these younger gentlemen, thereby intentionally forcing them to resign. So it's all playing out. They're young, they got mouth, they got energy, euphoria a lot, but they're not experienced. So the experienced guys are finally trying to get them out of the way. You'll see, once they've all got themselves out of the way, you'll see Joe Burger will start to reassign people. I'll leave it at that.
So sorry, let me jump in for 10 seconds. Sorry, because Mr. Kamara is playing games with the Liberian people, right? basically what he is saying that look, this president is doing trial and error with the lives of Liberians by putting in place incompetent individuals, right? Knowing fully well that they'll fail, and then when they fail, he say, "Oh, you see, I put them in." Do you know how many people have died because of some of the nonsense these people are doing?
Yeah,
And you're sitting
you
here
got
and telling
PhD for
Liberians
two.
that it's
You caught that
okay
one there.
that
You got it.
the president is trialing and error, doing trialing and error with the Liberian people business. All right, that's just unacceptable.
Great. Mr. Morris, welcome to Mr. Pavel. Mr. Pavel, happy Father's Day to you. We
Thank
know
you so
you
much.
got do your work as we all do. You get nothing in return. They don't recognize you. They don't do anything. If they take you out for dinner, they make you pay. Anyway, it's all right. Mr. Morris.
Don't spoil the part with women. That man Bob looking greasy. It's so sad he do today.
The man
Man.
spoke the truth just now.
Mr. Morris, are you a father yet?
Oh, Mr. Gary.
No, if
So
you
let me
are,
ask you one question.
you are a father,
Yeah.
happy Father's Day to you. But chime me on what we are talking about Martin Cully.
All right. I want to approach this on two fronts. I want to attack the credibility of Martin Colley in the same regard as Mr. Kamara. Martin Colley made an expose at the former managing director of the LBDI bank. He accused him of not having credentials and all kinds of things. He was unqualified. There was some form of cronyism that President we had, put him in that position. A few days ago in Front Page Africa, this guy got a position heading a bank in Switzerland. And that speculation and allegation was around him. The people did a thorough investigation and found that he was indeed qualified. And he's serving as the managing director of that bank. I think it's called the Bank of London in Switzerland, some kind of big institution, national institution. And he's serving in that capacity. Martin Cody was wrong on that information. When we go down to Liberia, we look at Alice Cashier Grant, the superintendent of Grand Judea County, who Martin Cody has exposed as having fake credentials. He didn't graduate from Coditown. He embellished his resume. President Boyka, the principal man, chose to make him his eyes and ears of Grand Judea County. After some people from the county asked the president to relent, he stuck with it, and he's serving as the superintendent right now. So my point here is for people like Martin Colley and John Molu and other people, and no offense to the president, but why do they think President Boyka would be different? What actions in the past led him to believe that this man was a man of pure integrity, and he would not surround himself with people who have some sort of. No. I know you're gonna have objection to it, but this is the two-pronged approach that I'm giving you now. So people who have never seen President Boyka be that guy is expecting him to be it just because he become president. You knew the kind of people President Boyka surrounded himself with. The likes of Ben Ayura, with what he did on the child stealer, all the things he was involved with. The likes of Costa, people, the likes of Stanton Witherspoon when he became so cozy with those kind of people. So the reality is, we're not going to cry for Martin Colley because the reality, we know that President Boyka does not care about integrity. He's not somebody who's going to test out somebody who lacks integrity. He's going to work with them if they're going to be a useful tool for him. And that's what we're seeing right now. So for me, I have no qualms with this. The reality is, people said it before, like the late Charles Walker Bromstein. They said that Boyka he was nepotistic, and he even used some other words, that I don't want to use on the president. But we've seen that in his government. We saw what happened to Luka. We saw what happened to the Interior Ministry. We saw what happened with a lot of these positions that's been given out to close family members of President Boyka and close associates. So the same thing that they criticized on the George Weah, they're doing it. So now these guys are realizing that, okay, the same thing we're preaching against, if we don't leave this government, we're going to seem like hypocrites because we can preach against it, then the government that we're in is doing the exact same thing. So it's good for him to leave, and maybe he will get more sympathy from people who are in the opposition. But the reality is, we knew this. This is who President Boyka was, and these guys were trying to fool himself and think he was going to be some kind of angel when he got into the presidency. When in fact, during the campaign previous to that, he was associating himself with less favorable characters. So nothing new here to see. I'll leave it there.
Great. Mr. Padmore, a few years ago, a few months ago, actually a whole year, Mr. Rambo called himself the Rescue Rambo. In fact, he almost caused a riot in Liberia on behalf of Joseph Boakai when he said, "Y'all come to," I think what the was it the SKD Stadium where they said some ballots were being stole and the seditians were going over there to compromise the ballot. And he asked the whole Monrovia to converge there. Then they said some of them brought cutlasses and knives to protect them. Now here we are. The same man that Alio was praising a few months ago. All of a sudden now, this man has no credibility. He's nobody.
I didn't say that.
The inexperience will fall off, and the experienced people are going to take over. This man is nothing, Mr. Panmo. I mean, 6 months, within 6 months.
Look, here's the thing here. I remember when Henry Costa decided to step away from the rescue train and the smear campaign that was placed upon him. Okay. Then John S. Molu decided to step away. Then Americane decided to step away. Now you have Rescue Rambo. And all the people want to tell us that it's not also, it's not United Party, it's not Joseph Boakai, it's these people. These people are the ones, look at them. It's becoming obvious by the day. And the numbers will increase as the time goes. United Party is in its own DNA corrupt. You know, a lot of people come to me and say, "Oh, you know, the elections are over. You need to find a way to unite." And I said, I tell them, I said, this is not personal. We know United Party. We had United Party for 12 years. They are corrupt. It's a corrupt entity. And monkey will not leave a black hand behind. It's just a matter of time. And we are seeing it. And it will continue to show itself. It will continue to show itself. And this is all that is happening right now. All that is happening right now is people who thought Joseph Boakai was bringing a new or different or reincarnate or washed in United Party. They are finding out that that is not true. This is the very same United Party. The United Party that bankrupt Nokia. That is the United Party yet. They have not changed. And we'll continue to see this. It has nothing to do with Martin Colley or Martin Colley's credit. So what is the excuse for John Molu? What is the excuse? Okay, let's assume Martin Colley is crazy. He ain't got no brain. He everything about him is wrong. What is United Party's excuse for John Molu? Why has John Molu refused to form part of your government? And he has stepped away from your. What is the excuse? They don't have any. They don't have any. Because John Molu has said himself, that thing they're doing all in our governance, there's no transparency, no accountability, and when you point it out, then they isolate you. The United Party, this is what they are, this is who they are. You know, we knew them before, and they're only showing themselves. That's all this is.
Mr. Nambe, happy Father's Day to you. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, my brother, and happy Father's Day to you all. I was having a brilliant Father's Day here, and then the Baltimore Orioles come in, and they're putting the hurt on my Phillies. I'm not happy at all.
Well,
they had to play baseball.
Guess what? The father in Philadelphia are not happy, but the father in Baltimore are celebrating, so it's a win-win.
Well, happy Father's Day to you. So listen, I was listening in, I was in traffic. This weekend, my state is hosting the convention of the Liberian Catholic Brothers and Sister Knights. We call ourselves Labrasca. They're basically brothers and sisters of the Knights of St. John. So it's been a pretty busy weekend. The cookout is ongoing right now, and I thought to come and join you guys, but I was listening in. So I like Dr. Booty a lot. I have a lot of respect for his analysis, but I have to disagree with him. And I'm also at pains. I am at great pains to agree with Mr. Kamara here. All right. So the likes of Martin Cully, right? They do this lazy analysis. They throw their weight behind individuals without taking any time to understand the internal dynamics that they're working with. So they brought this train and hoisted this train on us. And then 5 months in, he's jumping ship already. So who is he leaving us? Who is he leaving the train with to right course? I disagree that it's a good thing that he's getting off. I think he should stay on. I think he owes us a responsibility to make sure that this train find its path and do the right thing. Now, what is happening to this train is not unusual. I mean, all of us who follow politics, we know that. Right now, I believe this train, it has to shake off, a lot of things. What we're hoping for is that eventually it will find its bearing. But right now they're going through very tough times, and I think people like Malu, people like Colley, I think they should stay on and help the train find its path. I think they jumping ship and climbing all over the space and making these weak analysis. I don't think it makes them any patriots. I think they have a they owe us that responsibility. They brought this train on us, and they can't leave the train with us and run away. And then all of a sudden they become opposition, and then they're claiming a space that other people have already been working on to try to make stronger. I think it's weak and it's unpatriotic. I have absolutely no respect for people of their nature, kind. If you believe your analysis, your analytics that you did convinced you that Joseph N. Boakai is the president at this pace and date and time for Liberia, why would you leave him 5 months in? You were with him for 12 or so, how many years? You didn't have the time to understand this man. So all this stuff about climbing all over the place and broadcasting here and there, to me is really, 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 really pathetic. I think they should get back on the train and help us ride the train, because we have enough 5.5 years for this train to find its path. And if they're leaving us with this train, I think it's a disservice to the country. It's a disservice to the process.
Mr. Pablo, before I go to Dr. Booty, you mentioned something about Costa. I think Costa said he said Mr. Joseph, Vice President Joseph Boakai has no more new ideas. He's a C7 and 6 from the Unity Party. Touched on that because when he said that, exactly what Aliyu Kamara is doing, they decided to go after him for this man who single-handedly resurrected Joseph Boakai's career. They turned on him and started calling him all kinds of names when he said it. So now,
ask me a question now. What are you doing now? Ask me a question.
Okay, what this man said, Costa is now like a prophet that foretold the story that this man has no new idea. Joseph Boakai, in fact, I won't go there, but yeah, talk to me.
No, again, when did Costa realize this? I know Mr. Palmer, but when did he realize this?
Mr. Palmer, do you have the photograph with Mr. Nambe and Joseph Boakai? Because I see something here.
I was so uploaded. Uploaded.
Mr. Nambe said the president was sharp. He was on top of things. The president I did.
He said the man was sharp. The man breathing is tough. He knows everything.
No, but the thing is, all jokes aside, is that what we're saying? That what we're seeing. It takes you just a little bit of time to recognize, the whole process. It's like when you complain, they tell you to keep quiet. If you continue complaining outside, then Joseph Boakai will stop answering your phone call. That's the first step of isolation. Then after Joseph Boakai can stop answering your phone call, the next thing is you gotta get a choice. You gotta keep quiet, but if you continue talking, then it will threaten you to take away your whatever position you have or whatever leverage you have. And then they will bring the smear campaign. They will call you all kind of names. They're very same people, because you see, the thing is, We can't say, oh, Henry Costa was making Joseph Boyka low fun. But you know what? Unity Party accepted Henry Costa. When Henry Costa, whatever Henry Costa said was gospel. It was gospel. When Henry Costa got out and said that the Alexander Cumming finger document, they agreed. And they started calling him names. Everything that Henry Costa said was gospel. Everything Henry Costa said was truth. Until he said, Joseph Boyka know what he's doing. Oh, now Henry Costa know what he's talking. Now Henry Costa is a liar. Now he's a this, he's a that. Smear campaign after smear campaign. And we are seeing it. No new ideas. Do you know who the men who our president named to head the Rights Commission? Ambassador Charles Minor. Charles Minor is 82 years old. Are you crazy? So I mean, come on, really? This is the person that's going to solve the rest problem for us. And in a 2-year-old retired ambassador, he's going to solve the rest. This, when we say no new ideas, this is what we are talking about. This is what Henry Costa was talking about.
Never can change his farm as a problem.
Can I just come in quickly, please, on a couple of things? I think, first of all, let me disagree with the man with the greasy mouth because his wife and children have gained plenty part of their food. If he just, there's a part where I'm talking about you. I love you, my brother, but I just let me rub your ears more. No, anyway, no, I disagree with you in terms of the age of the individual. I think the fact that he's 82 does not mean that he doesn't have the capacity to deliver on what he's been asked to do. Secondly, obviously, Boyka in the same range, we expect a friend to be, the man 80 something. So all the people that know the 80 something. So what we expect him to know that he trusts is like, I'm on this panel, and if I'm given an opportunity to lead any institution and I need people with expertise, where do you think I'm going to look at? You are coming look, but even you, you're busy for I'll come to you to that my brother Carla, So who else? I can't, even Mr. Kamara, as hard, as difficult it is for me to say, I will come to Mr. Kamara and say, I'm thinking my brother can't present your ideas. But on the issue that Mr. Nangbe talked about, look, yes, I'm happy that we disagree, on this point. But I wouldn't look. President Boyka had been vice president for 12 years. He wasn't in charge. So I believe that it's difficult for people because again, for one, before Mr. Padmo started putting the picture then up, I tried to support President Boyka Vice President Boyka in 2017 when he was running initially against President Weah. The former ambassador to the UK, the late Ambassador Johnson, who's a very close friend of mine, Wesley Johnson, tried to broker a meeting a couple of times so that we could support, and it didn't work, and whatever. So at some point, myself thought that he was good enough, So at the end of the day, now I'm criticizing him because I can see now that he's president, it's easy to see when the person is in the position and doing the job that no, he doesn't have the capacity. But even I, at some point, felt that he was capable, right? So I don't think I will be harsh on Mr. Colley to say, oh, because you thought he was capable, you have to stay in. No, I think it's the right thing to walk away when you believe that the principles and values do not align anymore.
So Dr. Budi, let me come in real quick, Jerome. And I understand what you're saying. I totally respect that. And thank you for bringing up Boy West. Boy West was also a friend. He was UPP with the UPP almost throughout his life, even while he was in London. So thank you for that. But I say this, look, Ambassador Boyka, those who are close to him, Ambassador Boyka came from the UPP, and it's a surprise to you. Ambassador Blamo Nelson, who is now in Japan, Ambassador Nelson. At one point in time, the two of them went against Gary Bacchus Matthews for at the party primary to become the standard bearer of UPP. So we know that President Boyka very well. The people who know him more than even myself, they will tell you that President Boyka has a problem with making up his mind. He's a middle of the road guy. He is conflict adverse. He does not like to bother people. He would rather you sort it out or the problem sort itself out and go away. That's the kind of person he is. And this is on display right now. This president, look, how many times have people not talked about what is going on at LEC? When has the president ever said anything about it? The people are still experiencing rolling blackouts in Monrovia. It may have gotten a little better. There are a lot of
Look,
things that
you're right.
he could have acted on very quickly, but it is not his nature. He's
Your
not
10
going to do it.
second, your 10 second.
So
Oh,
if Mr. Colley and others who were campaigning with him throughout this period when he was vice president to the opposition, they should have known this coming in. What he's doing now is nothing new. This is who he is. So, but when did they realize this? When they fell out of favor with him? Is that when they realized that? So they brought this on us. They shouldn't leave it on us and run away and tell us, "Oh, I tried my best. It's not working." No, it's not good enough. It is not good enough.
Let me come in for a second. Let me come in for a second.
Mr. Kamara, I think you got a partner here. Your brother Kenya. You have made your bed, so shall ye lie in it. Talk to us. What are you going to do? They're accusing your man of corruption, and you can't debunk the corruption after corruption after corruption.
Okay, Mr. Gilman, you said corruption full time, but let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, Mr. Gilman. Government is not ran on social media.
Like I said, let them go on social media and keep talking. That's what he said. Go ahead. I got you.
You see, it's one thing imagining how a government should function when you're sitting in exile as a refugee. And it's a whole nother thing when the entire burden of the country is right on your shoulders. What Wakai sees, no disrespect to the young man, Mr. Colley does not see. The people Waka is in contact with, both Liberia and the world over, telephone and blah, 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 and email, Colley does not have that privilege. So what Colley has is anxiety. Look, gentlemen, you take over a government, a dilapidating administration, pretty much. In 5 months, a political activist believes that you should already be progressive. You should already show progress of the things that you have done over in the country. Now, the progress that exists now are not progress that you can see visibly. All right? Right now, they are structuring things. It is difficult to say. Burger has won, and somebody inside told me this. Burger has warned his people to refrain from being all over social media. He doesn't want destruction. Let's talk about Mr. Molu's situation, for example. Mr. Molu didn't refuse any job. I can tell you that firsthand. Burger didn't give him any job in the first place. They got to give you a job in order for you to refuse it. The problem with Mr. Molu and a lot of people in the Unity Party is his outbursts. When something happened, he would not go in and resolve the issue. He goes all over on the press, he's in the newspapers, he's on television, and Baka, one thing I agree with Mr. Nangbe, Baka does not like conflict. He doesn't like noise. They see Molu as somebody who is hard to work with. And with all respect to Mr. Gongo, that's why Gongo did not become justice minister. Because that's what Baka wanted to give him. But Baka said to someone, Gongo will now work with us, but he will be in the news. So there are many things that people, when you're sitting outside and you're talking, when you're not inside, Kuku Jumukue, you're not inside, you not know. Joseph Baka ran LPMC successfully without making any noise.
What?
Most of the
running
time,
LPMC is different from running Republic.
But I'm not talking now.
You're 30 seconds off, man. You better
30 seconds off, Mr. Gimme. Let's move on because the thing talking at me, I get it.
Hey, you see the deliberate interruption? He ran.
No, I'm deliberately interrupting Mr. because you do it to us a lot, right? And what you're saying there doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
You got 1 second. Go ahead.
One. 1 second. The British making the play the stage. Let me tell you.
I'll agree, man.
Everywhere this man worked, sometimes even some of the employees didn't even know he was there. This is his nature. You understand what I'm saying? But he was always successful at his job. So what I'm trying to tell you is, when you want to support somebody, you must know the person's character, their personality, and then you go in. The fact that you supported somebody in 2017, you supported somebody in 2023, and yet believe that you'll be this radical progressive standing on top of pickup trucks and challenging people, and you know this has never been your nature, even from growing up, then I don't understand what kind of advocate are you?
Thank you.
Not true, man.
Listen.
Let me come in here, please. I think I'm time to go.
Yeah, Mr. Morris.
We spent almost an hour on the first topic, though.
You got a closing on this here, but this one here for this man to say, this man goes to where nobody. He's an invincible leader. Nobody.
That's
He
doesn't attend cabinet meetings. He doesn't do it. You're talking about.
Come on. So somebody.
I want us to put the spotlight on the Senate Pro Tem. And you know that happened just on the board lied to us. They both fool us. They both fool the people in my country. And that's why I'm saying it. Really, you can tell by the actions and the interactions of President Boyka and the Senate Pro Tem. This is who he really wanted to be his vice president. The actual vice president has been so sidelined. And all this, they think you're talking about people going to Grand Basin to have retreat. Is Yombi Kanga Lawrence, attempt of trying to consolidate power amongst the senators. This is what she's doing. So the reality is, he's the heir apparent for President Boyka. Jeremiah Coon, the Prince Moyi, they just sit in the back, but this is who you really trust. This is who you really go to for consultation on how to do certain things. So that's what I think we should be looking at, because the thought that Prince Johnson had that, oh man, when I'm able to do it, I couldn't be doing it. No, like Young Bikonga doing it right now. And she got the blessing of the president to consider for 2029. So this is the reality of things, and I think we need to take a closer look at that. But overall, I don't think President Boyka should continue with that same mindset of I don't want trouble. You're leading an entire nation of over 5 million people. There's going to be trouble. There are going to be problems, and you have to be a problem solver. If you're telling me he's not a problem solver, then he shouldn't be a president, because
different way of solving problem. I'm making noise of what it was.
He solve problems by being the president.
Mr. Padmo, let me start with you on number 2 here. We spent a lot of time on Martin College. Yeah. There was a major debacle that just happened in Grand Bassa County, my own hometown. It all came to light when Mr. Amara Conan, after getting his little thing to keep quiet, he came to the whole world and said, Grand Bassa County is dark. He said, you have a substation, you got a power grid, you got everything, Grand Bassa, yeah, you don't have light. And people say, but what happened to the 10 grand that you got? Mr. Padmore, what is going on with this administration that they will spend $750,000? Amara Conan said he spent only 2 days there. Moyi said he spent 4 days there. But even if it were 4 days, that's a lot of money.
So basically, this is what happened. As usual, the Senate decided they were going to be insensitive to the plight of the Liberian people. They decided they were going to go on their retreat. Why a retreat? I don't even know. But they decided they were going to go on a retreat. They made their budget in the Senate to the Finance Ministry. And then somebody in their midst was smart enough to say, the money, if we take the kind of money and carry Bassa, with all of the suffering that's going on in the country, the people will not like it, will turn on us. So how can we still eat the money, but we don't make it so apparent? And somebody said, let's lower in the budget to see if we get any line item there that we can front that money. And they identify the constituency initiative or whatever they call it. And they say, okay, the $10,000, make sure you give it to us before we go Bassa. Don't get it up before we come out, because that's the money we're going to use when we go Bassa. So 3 days before going Bassa, they gave each one of these people, almost $17,000 each to go Bassa. And they used that. And on top of that, they just took $50,000 and said, "Oh, we'll just spend $50,000." Like to say we crazy, like the Liberian people can't comprehend what is going on. We had the same issue a few years ago. Legislative projects, $15,000, $10,000. They told us they took it from the budget. It wasn't there anymore. They had grown a conscience, and they were sensitive to the suffering of Liberian people, and this was wasteful. Not knowing, they just put it on a different budget line. They reduced it small, but they put it on a different budget line. And I want to believe that that is not the only thing on their budget that shows that. That if they were to put that budget aside, we'll see maybe 3, 4, 5 more of those same things, giving senators anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 for such nonsense, complete nonsense. If you are a senator, you hail from a particular place. Yomli Kanga Lawrence is a senator from Basso. She comes from Basso. She hails from Basso. We should get her money to go back home? That what we're doing, paying her way? That what we're doing? No, that's where you live. That's how you're able to run for the senatorial position. Going home is you going home. Nobody should have to pay your way. People are in a very Basso. Children are sitting on mud floor. Okay, in the rainy season to learn book. And these people pay, giving themselves tens of thousands of dollars. And there's the outrage. And what is even more angering is that they're talking down to us like we're stupid, like we can't comprehend, like we can't see corruption for what it is and identify it and call it out. You know? And so I'm fully behind the outburst of the Liberian people. As a matter of fact, I think it's even little why they have not convened at the Capitol Hill to demand the opening of the entire budget, to demand that these senators return this money immediately. I don't know what they're waiting for.
So I agree with you, Mr. Padmore. I think if they're talking down to us and they think we're stupid, that is because we're stupid, right? We're stupid enough to elect people who are sanctioned because of corruption and make them senators. We have Bill Tuawe sitting there. We have Nukwe. We have, all these people. And they know we're stupid enough to elect them, right? So, and the legislators are not stupid. They know exactly what they're doing. They know the reason why they pile up so much thievery into the budget. And there's a reason why the executive continue to force feed them with all this money and shoveling it into their mouths. Because it is the only branch of government which has that capacity to block the budget, to stop the executive from passing their poke barrel budgets. And so it's a game they're playing between the executive and the legislature. And I think Ellen Johnson was the one who really, really brought this to a head. I think she kind of institutionalized this. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. You give the legislature so much money that they don't even know how to spend. Then they will give you a free hand to spend your money any way you want. But I was listening to what Evan was saying. I wanted to quickly agree with him. I think this president probably believes that his power base is with the Liberty Party of Yomli Kanga and Darius Dillon, because they are running the show. He outsourced his appointment to these two people. They've gone on the legislative floor and canceled out his appointees. He's done nothing about it. And he continues to kowtow to these two people and trying to please them. I agree with him. Where is his vice president in all this? I mean, the vice president did help him come in. MDR really made a major contribution to the victory of this president. And he continued to marginalize them. And I think Prince Johnson and others are not happy about this. And they're making it very, very clear. So I have to agree with him. He needs to really, 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 really get off this train of trying to please just one side of this coalition, because there are several people who came into the ring. If he wants to do well, there are a lot of rumblings that are going on right now by the way in which he continues to favor the duo from Basso of Dillon and Kanga Lawrence. I was coming on to something Mr. Kamara said here. I don't want to make it a habit of agreeing with him all the time, but today. All right, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Don't go there.
Great. Dr. Booty, One of President Wagai's staunch men in the United States, a young man that used to be on our show, he on Spawn now, Mr. Mame. Mr. Mame wrote a lengthy article, maybe a post, and he said what baffled him is that President Wagai came into office. Since then, he has failed to present publicly a budget which he believes is the source of Joseph Wakai's corruption. You have the budget. The law requires you by the 18th of April, and the budget should be made public. This is a man that was coming for transparency and accountability and the rule of law. He has broken all these rules. And he says Joseph Wakai's transparency has been compromised, so we are suspicious of his conniving and corruption that people think he doesn't know, but he knows, Mr. Dr. Booty.
I think if you listen to and obviously for me, I learn a lot every time I come on the show, and I'm very grateful to everyone, including Mr. Kamara, for the ideas that.
Why you gotta say something again? Why you gotta say including Mr. Kamara? I already said everyone. No, but I already said everyone.
This is the only man who I know who doesn't take kindly to praise.
I don't trust the people who praise me.
Typical United Parties, they won the election, but the man, I don't know what's going on.
I don't trust the people who praise me. That's the problem. Go ahead.
No, but let me learn, and maybe you trust what I'm about to say. No, I learned a lot, and obviously listening to Mr. Nangwe speak about President Wagai and his nature, and hearing Mr. Kamara echo that is disappointing, because I didn't know that President Wagai was the kind of person who would shy away from confrontation, because you can't be president of any organization, even a football club or amateur football club or whatever. You can't be a president of anything if you can't stand confrontation, because there will be differences of opinion, there will be differences of views, and some people will shout louder than others, and you have to be able to command the authority to get people to work together. So that he's that kind of person is troubling for the Liberian people. But to that point, I'm not surprised then, right? If that is who he is, I am not surprised that we're in the mess that we're in. Because clearly, Mr. Dillon shouts loud. Clearly, Senator Lawrence can shout loud. And if these people are the people who are running things, then obviously every time he goes to them to say something, when they shout, he said, shut up, he can't do nothing. And they just run away and do whatever it is that they want to do.
Are you asserting that people are bullying our president? Dr. Booty? Is that what you're saying?
But Mr. Morris, if you can be honest with me, you know that from the day I joined the show, I've told you that this president was spineless. All right, and I stand by that. I repeat that every time I come on here, that he has no backbone. I don't change that notion until I can see something different. But I think learning more about him from people who have been close to him helps me to realize that okay, so I'm on the right track in terms of my analogy.
All right. Good point.
So touching on the point that Mr. Patmo made, look, it gets to a point where it's so painful, as a Liberian who wants to see the best for our country, to see individuals take advantage of ordinary people, as the senators have done. Right now, having a retreat is nothing wrong. Right, my organization will be converging here in the UK. We have colleagues coming from across the world on Tuesday for a couple of days retreat. We're all going there for that retreat. By the end of that retreat, something concrete is going to come out to shape the future of the organization. There's going to be a document that will say, these are the action points that we agreed upon. Here is the way that we're going to shift from A to Z or move from B to Y. There is going to be something concrete that comes out and everybody can read and okay. So the couple of days you guys spend down there, these are the things that you came up with. I would love to see what these senators spend $700 and whatever $1,000 on, because we need something concrete, something that is so transformative that every one of us will be sitting here and like eating our words back, right? Like, yeah, these guys really went down there. They did some strategic thinking. The country is now going in a new direction. Until we can see that, like Mr. Padmo said, I'm with him, that the Liberian people need to be angry right now. They need to call on these people, not only to open the budget and tell us what's in it, but they need to return the money, right? Because if you're going, look, the Chinese people did well for them. They fixed the Capitol building nice. If y'all want to change rules, why you can sit right in the Capitol building and change the rules? You got to go way back, so spend $700,000 to change the rules.
You're not joining the
Then
other
what
topic.
Liberian people own a business now?
Let me just tell you, every time you say cock,
Mr.
Kamara just start laughing at you. So anytime you say cock, you can start laughing at you. Let me cut in now. Every time you say cock, Mr. Kamara will be laughing at you.
Welcome to Mr. Tao. Mr. Kamara.
Forget what I got about. Let me cut in now.
Mr. Kamara. The way you didn't probably forget about everybody. Soon they win, forget about everybody.
Mr. Kamara, before you come in quickly, what Dr. Budi is suggesting, I believe this is what Mr. Padmo was.
But I know talking.
I think it's not late for our people to demand these people to give back the money that they took. Look, these people started taking $30,000 each of them. When the alarm was raised, they put in $150 when the alarm was raised. They're laundering $700,000 through the economy. They retreat just an excuse for them to disburse this money to them. Each of them took home $10,000. I didn't know that until Moi came out and said they're supposed to get $800-something per month, and they accumulated this to this amount. For what? For what? These people get tons and tons of gas. They get scratch card. They get car every 3 years. They're getting all of these things. For what? What exactly do they do? I think our people should take over the Capitol building and sit in that building until they give that money back. And I hope they will. So they need to give it back.
Mr. Number, we need to sponsor something called recall. Recall. That's the Constitution calls for it. Let's
put it in order now. Let's put it in order.
Mr. Kamara, your turn.
Yes.
5 minutes, 5 seconds.
What was your question say again, please?
You see, you forgot.
Mr. Nangwe will jump in again. What was the question again?
And if you keep calling my name, I will jump in again.
The general Mr. Boyka, you forget everything fast. You gotta focus.
Okay.
Mr. Kamara, you gotta focus.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
It's a disease that inflated people from 7 years. But anyway, what I'm saying.
But ask the question about.
What I'm saying here, let's be fair. I understand there's a lot of corruption going, but I wanted to say let's get a little more time. But you're eating too much illegally. Go ahead, Mr. Kamara. I can't find a way to help you. I've been trying, but I just can't.
Is it the problem we're facing?
No, you facing
that. No, all of us.
No. You
but if you don't know, say you don't know.
Don't put us here. You say, Kuku Jubuku. You
Padmo.
You were not in it. Why you were criticizing Georgia when you were
yeah, wait now. Okay, I will signal out some people. Tao, Padmo, the guys who can only speak with their emotion and their compassion. Let me signal to no suffering us. We speak about things that we really don't have the facts on hand. But just because they're egregious or sound like it, automatically we assume certain things. I'm not touching the legislators because I'm on the same side with Nangbe on that one. So that one I just common sense. Somebody taking something.
No, we're not on the same
side. Somebody taking something from you. You know what the person is. The person keep taking it. You know what the person is sitting now. You can't go there. But anyway, this is what I have to say to you. Listen, gentlemen. Somebody said Buckeye. You can't do that. You can't do that. They knew that Buckeye was gonna fail. Listen, when you are an institutionalist, people will always mischaracterize you. You have the judicial system in the country. Like somebody was making unnecessary noise on one network last night. They say a guy named William was being sought after by the court. They automatically jump to conclusion that the government is chasing Mr. Williams. Was there any instruction from the Justice Ministry to chase Mr. Williams? A court warrant. He said the government chasing Mr. Williams. This is how the speculation goes. And when Mr. Palmer, Mr. Palmer, Mr. Tower handle that stuff, they chopper it far away because it's in the air. Now, the people who are the actual newsmakers are speaking based on principles, based on policies. So as a result, they're not really coming to you to talk. So before we be talking, most of these, we can be talking, Broker can do this, Broker can do that. You have the police station, you have the NSA, you have all the different institutions responsible to put things under control. If they go out of hand, he has appointed them. You have to give them a chance to do their work. But to just assume that, wait. To just assume that Yombly and Dillon, they're running Broker, how do you just assume something? Show me something now.
It's not assumption, it's the fact.
Okay, that's fact. Okay,
Mr.
Kamara, where?
We've seen him display every day.
Even Mr. Morris, Mr. Nangbe, Mr. Patu, Mr. Tawo, everybody has provided evidence.
After you, I go to Mr. Tawo. Mr. Tawo, welcome and happy Father's Day. Mr. Morris, here is this man who were here castigating the weird government. Now he's saying, you're not in it, you don't know it. Now we're in it, we know it. It's not easy to run government. I can't believe it. Go ahead, Mr. Morris.
Mr. Kamara didn't speak in my dingo, but let me try to interpret what he said.
Okay.
For our audience. He said that the Liberian people should go and protest to the House, to the House of Legislature, and demand that these monies that were given to the senators be returned because, number one, we don't know if it was in the budget for that specific purpose. And number two, it seems unwarranted. Just to travel from Monrovia to Buchanan, you have to have $10,000 for what? For traveling and entertainment. That's unheard of. So I agree with you, Mr. Kamara. I wanted to put in simple language for our people because you didn't say quite as overtly, but I would say should have been understood. And I agree with you. And Mr. Dunapa said the same thing. I would re-echo that. But let me say this. Chris Johnson said something that I think is ringing true right now in this government. And these guys know it. Government is elephant meat. Government is elephant meat. And these guys, especially the young Kanga Lawrence, the DeLong, the Steve Moyi, these guys are, the Prince Moyi, I should say, these guys are really, really trying to build up a war chest. And they're going to use the government coffers to do that. They're going to get all the money siphoned into their accounts so that in 2029 they will be formidable. This is what's happening right before our eyes. These guys are not taking this money and going to spend it on jolly time. They're saving this money. And by the time 6 years elapse, most of these guys will probably have accrued over $1 million+ in just kickbacks to the government and soak up for a dime or money for trips and money for entertainment. This is what they're doing to try to win re-elections and even try to put up a formidable fight against the opposition come 2029. And we can discern this by the actions that they're taking. Yombly Kanga Lawrence, Harris Dillon telling us that they're the quote-unquote light and they're speaking for the Liberian people and trying to hold government feet to the fire. When now they're doing the exact same thing. And Mr. Nambu said it. Look, I hate to put this fact out there because it's not scientific. But when they rank the countries with the lowest IQ, Liberia is ranked second worst. Second worst, only behind Nepal. Our people are so uninformed. Our people are so uneducated that these guys can play fool out of a large portion of our population and they continue to get re-elected. And that's what we're seeing right now, like Mr. Nangwe said. They're doing these things because they think we're stupid. And in reality, we are stupid because we're allowing them to do it and keep doing it and getting away with it. So what do you expect us to do? Look, I thank God every day for my parents for bringing me to this country. Because if I was at this age and I was in Liberia, I'd probably be a Zogo. Because I don't know what I'll be able to do with my life. Because the reality is, there's no opportunities if you're not a lawmaker or you're not in some kind of illicit act in Liberia. I don't know how you can honestly make an honest living in that country. So think I'm in this country, although I'm engaged in this politics, but I think my eyes have opened to the point where I feel like there's almost no hope for our country because everybody there is corrupt. Even the people you think are not corrupt, once they get in a position to show you they are not corrupt, they become corrupt. And that's what we're seeing right now. I'll leave it there.
Thank you, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Before we go to Mr. Tawo, let me play you a clip real quick from... hold on 1 minute here. Let me play this clip from this man.
That's a big deal. But since it has not made sense yet, we start to demonstrate our word into action by maintaining that we will take only 5,000 US dollars of our monthly money. Just as we are about to return to Maserati, what we have received from government, we would like to make it in a re-emphasized way that when we said what we said, we're clear on the record that we will take only 5,000 from Maserati County. When we made the argument, it was a fact that senators were taking $15,325 in gross, and after tax deduction, it will come at $12,000. I insisted I would take 5,000 out of that 15,000 and return the rest of Maserati County. And we insisted that whatever the money will be here, more than 5,000 will return the rest of Maserati. So if we're making 15,000, we'll take 5,000 and give Maserati 10. If they increase our money here, or we increase our money here to 100,000, Darius Dillon will take 5,000 and give Maserati 95,000. If we're making 5,100,
Okay.
we'll take
You got the
5,000
message.
100. If we make it under 5,000, then Maserati gets nothing. Because the baseline has always been. That's a big deal. But since it has not made sense yet,
Yeah.
we try to demonstrate our word into action.
Okay. Ladies and
That's part of our problem, right there. A con artist. This guy is a con. He's dishonest, you know.
Mr. Padmore was the camping manager for the light.
Oh, was he?
Oh, yes, the light.
Yes.
So, so the light turned the lantern. But Dr. Booty, real quick.
I thought you were going to Mr. Tao.
Mr. Tao, let's go to this, and then you pick up. You start on the third one here. When we talk about the corruption here, I have never seen it this blatant. The editor-in-chief of the for the Perspective in Atlanta, Abraham Williams, he said the previous government was corrupt. He said, but under this government now, corruption is butt naked walking around Monrovia.
Is that what he said? Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said corruption.
No, wait.
And oblivious. He didn't care whether he naked.
But anyhow, butt naked on a rescue train.
That's what I'm saying. Mr. Tower, this retreat, 700,000. Dara Dillon said, even they gave me 100,000, I will give you about 95,000. I say so. Where is it like? Where have we talked about corruption in the country?
Yeah. So, guys, first of all, I've been traveling all weekend, so I actually did everything for me to be here. I informed Mr. Gibman this morning, so I'm sorry for being a little late. If my children had gotten me a car, maybe, but they got me a new car, so I have to drive it. You see what?
Hey.
but
you're not like Mr. Partner who they only cook for.
You cook Kenny beans, man.
You
look, guys.
You.
Yeah, guys, look at what happened here. I was listening to this whole program, and it's really disheartening and it's troubling for me to listen to Kamara fumble all over the place. This guy, when I came on this program, he was articulate. He could spot mishap, corruption, any kind of stuff. All of the same things are happening at an astronomical rate. And this guy is trying to explain it away as if it shouldn't mean anything. Sitting in this platform and saying, for you to be in the diaspora and for you to talk versus for you to be in Liberia to see how government run is two different things. Where were you when you were making all this noise? When you were playing every flag that moved in Liberia, where I was responsible. Where were you? Were you in Liberia? Were you at the executive mansion?
In a sit down room.
So we need to stop this kind of hypocrisy. This is corruption. You are committing corruption here against the Liberian people. Because corruption is when you try to put the interests of groups and individuals
But the question they asked Makamani, what in the question?
That is corruption. It affects the people. Look, man, what we see happening, the people are dying. Our people are suffering. So when we come on this platform, please let us put all this personal support behind. Let us look at the things that really work for our country. But look, like many of the panelists said, and like I listened to Mr. Nangbe, and all the guys did was they're sharing money. And we come on this platform every time, right? We struggle with this particular stuff, trying to make sense of this so-called Western democratic system that they're giving us. I've done a lot of research and study on there, gone to many conferences. It was never meant to work. It is flawed. It is corrupt at its core. When you want to serve people, you don't need to spend money to serve them. Once there is money tied in, why would I want to spend $2-3 million just to be superintendent of Grand Bassa County? So all of the stuff we're saying, I look at the foundation. Each time I bring this up, people want to rebuff it. But what else? No. Identify the problem first and say the problem is sick. It cannot work. Then once we get to that, it means we identify that because you're trying to patch something that is leaking, that is rotting. This is not the only form of government or governing. It is only in Africa that they give you something called multi-party democracy. Who told you that electoral politics is flawed? It's a failed system. Because we sit here, they say, oh, we are the one that is stupid. We should blame. No, you can't. It doesn't matter who you vote for. You can even go over there. Mr. Nangbe, Mr. Morris, Mr. Padmo, they can vote you in. The system is designed to corrupt you. The system.
What's the alternative?
Regulation in which you fit, and you must function within the rules and regulations.
That's
Functioning leads to corruption. So if you don't want to be corrupt, guess what? You will pretty much have to get out. So the system.
What's the alternative, Mr. Taro?
The system is designed to attract the least and the worst and the scums of the land. And I come back here again, and I will blame the United States, China, the EU, all these guys. They're supporting corruption. This is why. We are here. Senators that are making more than senators all over the world, in the US and everywhere else. They're sharing money. They're using 97% of the country's budget. The United States is still subsidizing the budget. So you are no, we want them, their intention may be good, but it is not good at this point. Pull your support, force them, let them put money back into the country so they can run that country. Let us make this message clear. If we can't go ahead and put only $1 million in agriculture, then we say, oh, the EU and USAID is going to put 40 million in, they're the one. No. Because if you see, this is where these are the things that facilitating the corruption. So their intention may be good for them to really help, but then look at the people that they're trying to help with steal everything and even steal donor money. So let the donors pull their money and let us strap ourselves up by our bootstrap. Let's spend what we have. They're talking about $5,000. Others want. Why are you taking $5,000 for? As if when they say $5,000, it's supposed to make some kind of sense.
Thank you.
So please, guys, it is the system. It is the system. It doesn't matter. You can go vote anybody in. It will still lead to this.
Thank you.
What alternative do you have to this system, Mr.
Morris? Mr. Morris, let me start with you on this one. Let's go to the last and final topic here. The presidential appointment continues. The complaint is increasing from everywhere, from the UPP, UP, the youth wing. These people were the folks who were standing in poo-poo water. They were dying. Some of them went and actually killed other people. They actually killed other people. And you saw
Dwayne Johnson killed somebody.
Yes.
Took white and knocked on his head and killed him.
This woman killed somebody. And then white guy, because she was making noise, they appointed her now to deputy manager, second manager at I mean, it's unbelievable. Mr. Morris, talk to us about this whole thing that's going on. It's like a major fight.
Look, I will start this with President Weah, and it's a bigger issue, The youth depend on President Weah to transform their lives. They really put their hopes in him, and he couldn't fulfill it because the reality. I mean, he didn't prioritize the youth. Number one, but number two is difficult. It's difficult to get a country out of an economic rut. It's something that takes almost geniuses to bring their minds together to get a country out of an economic rut, especially a country that doesn't produce anything, doesn't export anything of real value, doesn't make anything that it can get, of value for. So it's almost an impossible task to ask a president to do as our country is currently constituted right now. So putting their hopes, I hear the youth wing of the United Party talking, putting their hopes in President Boyka. How do you think he's going to transform their lives? By giving them a government job? You can't hire all the government. What policies did he articulate during the campaign that the youth thought that resonated with them, that was going to help to transform their lives? I didn't see any. Maybe Mr. Kamara can tell us. But the reality is, you don't just put your hopes on somebody because when you get there, they will find jobs for us. Youth did it for CBC, did the same thing for Boyka, and now they're realizing there's no hope. It's the same thing from the last 6 years. They'll do the same thing doing this, the upcoming 6 years, and it will be in the same condition. Because the reality is, countries don't just rise out of economic, poverty because of the leaders you elect. Most of the time, it's by technocrats, people who went to school, people who are coming back into the country from foreign lands, who have the expertise and the knowledge, and they work together. And then you have a leader who are going to lead them and help them raise you out of poverty. And we don't have that in our country right now. Most of these people are recycled politicians. Most of these people had their time to serve, and we saw what they did during the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration. In the beginning, it seemed like there was some successes, but after about 4 or 5 years, the rest of the term was a disaster for the Liberian people. So for me, that's why I say I don't know. I don't have the answer in myself now. I don't even like to rack my brain to think how to solve the Liberian problem, because that's why I keep saying I'm happy I'm here. Happy I can go to work and earn a good living for myself and my family. Because outside of that, I don't know if I was saying what I would be doing. So I'm just glad for America. I hear Mr. Tawo probably would not want to hear it, but thank God for America for saving some.
Well, if I want to let's go back Liberia.
Yeah, because some of us, if we were in that country, we would probably be at the bottom of the barrel. So for me, Mr. Gamer, I will just tell you this: to the youth of Liberia, go to school, find way, anyhow, learn, and if you can travel out of Liberia and better yourself. And maybe you can come back one day and help, or stay in the United States or stay in other foreign countries and make a better life for yourself. If our elders, President Boyka, and those who are older than us, our grandmothers, our grandfathers, are not going to help to transform the future of the young people, pretty much I'm saying abandon the country and try to save yourself. Because if we stay in this nonsense, we will degenerate into a violent society, and we might have another war just purely based on the economic frustration of the young people. We have to find a solution to it. President Boyka was not a solution, and I dare to say President Weah was not the solution either. So what are we doing now? We're just going to keep looking and talking about it on these platforms, but the reality is those who are in the actual rut in Liberia, they have no hope. They see no light at the end of the tunnel. So for me, I've become disillusioned with the politics in Liberia, and I'm on this show because I enjoy the company of you guys, but I don't really have any high hopes for our country anymore. I hate to say it. I'll leave it there.
Thank you. Mr. Patmore, when this administration came into being, guys like Mr. Wallow, Sam Wallow, he came out here, he posted something that HTP got $5 billion. He said Joseph Boyka came into being 2 days. HTP bring $5 billion. He not come back with another $2 billion. Let me put it here. Sam Wallow you don't post the 10 million, you always put billion. The first one, Joseph Boyka came into power 1 week, $5 billion, people shaking hands. They said they will do 10 billion. Now, father, you not come by you. Is it the Western cluster that just brought Joseph Boyka 200,000 and they lifted all the bed? He said now they're going to get them $5 billion of the top. Mr. Padmore, and then Joseph Boyka promised specifically that within the first 100 days, there will be 10,000 electronic jobs for young people. He promised that.
Okay. So what a question now?
Go ahead, Mr. Padmore.
So there's 3 parts to this. So the first thing is this government presented employment in government as a political reward. That's how they built the alliance, the UP alliance. And so now people are saying the thing, what you promised me, give it to me. You know, they did not create these alliances based on honesty, on truth. No. They say, oh, my man, when we win, you will get a job. The job will be there, the job will waste. We'll pay you, you will be able to do the thing you want to do. Now that they have won, now reality is setting in. So that's why people like the LPP are coming out with a press conference talking about how they are being abandoned by the Unity Party. There's fighting going on. I don't know if you know there was a fight going on at the Unity Party headquarters between Amos 12 on a group and another group, you know, on the same issue. They say the party has been abandoned. The party headquarters has been abandoned. Nobody answering their phone calls anymore. The Montserrat youth youth wing of the Unity Party, they are on their own, you know. But this is what, you know, it's like Joseph Boyka was prepared to make any deal with anybody to be president. Anybody. And to tell them anything they wanted to hear. Anything they wanted to hear, he was willing to tell them so that they could vote for him. It's a seed of dishonesty, you know, and people don't change overnight. People, now that he has won, now he will change. People don't change overnight, you know. Even his craziness, where Sam Wallow talking about. Are you kidding me? Are we going back to this again? These people, they came into the country. They've been here, I think, since 2010. So it's been about 14 years. They haven't done anything. You had to halt the operations. They were supposed to build a railroad line. I don't know if you remember. Yeah. They were supposed to build a railroad line from the mines all the way. They never built a railroad line. They never built a school. They never built a hospital. They've just been taking tonnage and tonnage of our resources. Then you threaten to shut them down. Then they say, oh, my man, chill. The money will bring in now small money. 2 billion. That will bring it to, my man, that BMSP. Let me tell you now. Your guy, that's a complete BMSP they own. If they have not brought even $500,000 in 14 years, you tell me Tinepo get 2 billion to bring to you? No. They just want you to get off their backs. They will close the mouths of the people that need to be closed, and they will continue to extract the resources until they are completely done, and then they will leave Liberia. And unfortunately, the old people that Joseph Boyka might not even be around again, and that we and our children will have to figure this thing out. You can't be taking millions and millions of dollars out of Kidma, and Kidma remains totally undeveloped. Nothing for the people. No light, no water, no development, no school, no hospital, nothing. And then we're supposed to believe that you bring in 2 billion. How about you just pay for the first one that you miss? Forget about the one you bring in the future. The one you are supposed to bring for the first 15 years. Get all that one first. Let me eat that one. Then you can talk about the one in the future. But no, we're on the whole dry door story. You know? We're on the whole dry door story.
Let me come in now.
Burn a hand. We're through this.
Pardon, man, don't kill me.
Let me come in for a second.
No, but listen, come out before you come in. Let me just tell Mr. Wallow, thank you very much for being the 5th viewer on our show.
Don't listen to that man. Yeah, opposition is unpopular right now to this government. Wallow, come on.
We can count on you to be the 5th person on the show, so we love you. Keep coming and keep bringing the fake news. Mr. Kamara, the 10,000 electronic job for the young people that Joseph Boyka was also having the first 100 days, what happened to that one now?
Okay, see, look, let me tell you something here, amigo. All the assumption is okay. Like I recommended to Dennis Jar on Friday night debate the other day, and they said I shouldn't say it. And I'll say it again. What Liberia needs is a
Why you
benevolent.
want to say it?
What Liberia needs is a benevolent dictator.
Oh,
At this
Give him
particular
please tell
point.
him how to say that thing here.
Mr. Nangwe, the man learning something from 12. Finally, learning something from 12 because 12 mentioned that.
Where the word benevolent and the dictator existed before 12 were born. But let me just say this to you. You know, just like African children and British children, the children that were born in Britain in the many country, and you take like for instance, you got one child born in Great Britain, one child born in Liberia, two of them 8 years old. You bring a Liberian child newly from Liberia, bring him to Britain. The same way you can talk to that British kid for him to conform, it's not going to be the same way you talk to a Liberian child. Liberian child is not still ratting, he's not talking nothing. So let me tell you, Liberia needs a dictator. A dictator like Paul Kagame. He does. And we have something similar going on right now in Malawi. He's not a dictator. He's not viewed as a dictator. He's viewed as a Democrat, but he don't mess around. We need people who will look at some of these things that we have had since 1847 as the crafted as a Republican form of government. We need to look at some of the regardless of what the White House says.
Mr. Kamara, answer my question.
I'm coming on.
What happened to the 10,000 jobs that you
I'm coming. See,
that job was promised last month.
When you're passionate speaker and yelling, you get to them nothing. When I start talking, you ain't giving me a chance.
No, but don't go back. I ask you a simple question. What happened to the 10,000 job promise? I didn't say.
Some more holla here. I almost got a problem here. Now you don't want to give me a chance or something. Okay. So we need. I'm just giving this example. We need a dictator in Liberia. Whether we believe it or not.
What happened to the 10,000
but
jobs?
The so-called 10,000 jobs that you so focus on. That program. I have a someone acquaintance right now in India called Arthur S. Kandakai, who is in India right now studying out of that program. So like I said to you before, maybe the government is not too great at communication. Maybe that's it.
Mr. Kamara, the 10,000 job, you got one person now in India?
I'll just give you an example. There are series of
one out of 10,000.
I give you an example. As we speak, Mr. Gilman, you're 104 years old. Are you telling me that by the time you got up, you started working immediately? It didn't take you so time to work? The government came into being when you don't even have a vehicle, no office desks, nothing. In 5 months' time, they should be able to train 10,000 people in technology in 5 months' time. In 5 months' time, they should be able to provide electricity in all 15 countries in 5 months' time. In 5 months' time, there should be no crimes in Liberia in 5 months' time. Are you guys being realistic, or we just doing our job to talk?
That's what he said. We're holding him to it.
Oh, you not get common sense?
Okay.
But Mr. Kamara, what's a reasonable timeline?
No, what's a reasonable timeline for what the United Party got? A reasonable timeline is actually 2 years.
Mr. Kamara, 2 years.
Dr. Booty.
2 years for you to start seeing actual results, whether you like it or not.
Dr. Booty, we want to leave a little. Well, we're on time, so this will be our closing. Address everything within. Let's give everybody 3 minutes so we can get out of here and go to your families. Obviously,
thank you.
Mr. Kamara has no answer to all the platforms.
No, because I'm not allowed to speak.
Go ahead.
Let me speak. First of all, I just want to spend a few seconds on Mr. Morris, and I will beg you to re-examine your position, because I think Liberia needs all of us. It's daunting what is going on in our country right now.
And has
been for a period of time, but we can't give up on the country, right? That's our country. Liberia is in our blood, whether we like it or not. The same can be said of President Weah before he became president. His success, yes, he worked hard, but he was born in Liberia. The hardship in Liberia helped mold him, helped give him the resilience to be able to go on the stage as he went, play football, and achieve all of the things that he achieved. And I think for all of us, Liberia has molded us in some way, shape, or form. So we can be angry, and I won't lie to you. There were times during the weird government that myself held the position that you're holding now. That like, nah, the thing here, the way going,
2 minutes gone.
But my brother leader team, let me talk. But at the end of the day, you recognize that look, okay, these guys are here. They don't really know what they're doing, so you have to cut them some slack, right, and let them learn and give them an opportunity. When you ask the question to Mr. Kamara, oh, how long is enough? The same leniency that I gave to say the CDC government, I can't give it to President Boakai, because President Boakai served the Liberian government in public offices for probably more years than George Weah was when he became president, right? So this guy has been serving Liberian government for 50-something years. He should know way more than any other person that came to the presidency in Liberia. There is no Liberian president that has come to office with the level of public service experience that this guy has come to office with. No, from 1847 till now, no Liberian president has come to office with 40-something years of public service experience. So that is why we can't give him 100 days. That's why we can't give him 4 months. We want him to start from day one. If you say you'll get 10,000 jobs, don't call Kandaka name and say, oh, Kandaka in India. 10,000. What happened to the 9,999 other people now? Where they at? Why you call their own Nina to only Kandaka?
You don't want to speak British English again?
No. I want proof that you're a Liberian man, because you keep calling me British my country, and I'm a country here. Liberia, my country. So I want proof to you I'm from Liberia. Yeah. Look, Liberia needs people who understand how to move the country forward. Unfortunately, Mr. Morris touched on this, and I think Mr. Nangwe touched on it as well. The Liberian people were dumb enough to vote this president into office, not knowing that he's someone who not finished. I'm looking at the time. Who can be pulled from pillow to post, has no idea of direction or how to control anything. We can't we have to keep talking. We have to keep looking at ways to try and make things better. We have to keep pushing the envelope as much as we can and calling out the filth as we see it, and hope that one day, very soon, there will be individuals in Liberia who have the country at heart, who have the expertise and the desire to do well for our people. And that's what we're all hoping for.
Thank you. Mr. Taro, you're closing 3 minutes.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So, I know Mr. Mori, whoever he is, he posted something here. He said we are being negative. Like what is really positive that you can even start on concerning this government? The president lied to us from the very beginning. I will declare my asset. So he decided from the beginning to be corrupt, and that is what you guys are seeing. And I told you all before this government came to power, when I came here, that he would never declare his asset because they're all intent on stealing. I told you that he would never audit anybody because he don't want to audit anybody, because since they intend on stealing, they don't want to be audited too. So you see it's going on, and this is the reality here. But to my young brother, Mr. Morris, look at what happened here. You said that Mr. Tao may not want to hear this. I hear you and the other guy, what is his name, the computer guy? I forgot his name. Gay. That I'm glad to be here, and all of this. Nobody is not even saying that you shouldn't be glad to be here. That is not even it. What you accomplished personally in the United States as an individual have nothing to do with the country at large. I've accomplished a lot here, a whole lot, but that have nothing to do with anything. And my position here is that my coming here was a result of the war, a war in which the United States were implicated. So I have no reason for me to even leave my country to come here. I probably would have been further out and better. The thing is, I don't belong in this country. I don't belong here. We are not Americans. It doesn't matter what kind of paper you hold. They have a lot of black people that they don't even need. You see how they treat them. So because we are here and things working for us in some form, that's still our country. At some point, the point will come where we'll be looking for option. So while we are disillusioned right now based on what's going on, we still have to all contribute somehow to make sure that our country works so that we can return.
Thank you.
So that is what I would actually say. Yeah, we get frustrated. The things that happen, yes, I'm not disputing that. But I can't just say, oh, that's not my country. I'm not going back there. I have no. Yeah, if I say that, that's fine. It's okay. But look, Mr. Kamara, try to be honest with yourself, my brother.
Yeah, I know you're not going to end what I mean.
To make all kinds of everything you want to explain their way that we for you to be in government and for you to not be in government on how it work and how it don't work. Well, all that technicality that have nothing to do with anything. Bwaka cannot lead the country. Like Mr. Booty said, he's a very selfish person. He knew he didn't have capacity, he didn't have the ability. But because he wanted to come in, get a couple of people rich and himself. Okay, my 3 minutes over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Honorable Nambe.
Yes.
Listen, happy Father's Day again to you guys. Mr. Tao, you came in late. Happy Father's Day to you, and I agree with you.
My logo, that Congo thing, don't try here with me. Oh.
I think
we are all Congo. Go ahead.
I know. I hope my 3 minutes have reset.
Start. Go ahead.
Good. So I agree with Mr. Tao. I think Mr. Kamara needs.
I want to come up with your Tao Empire and grandmother for hot shots.
Listen, man. Listen, Mr. Kamara, when you have 1 minute, because you keep. Go ahead, Mr. Naba, you restart.
I hope Mr. Kamara will wake up one day and do like Mr. Molo and Mr. Cully and the Costa and the residents. Smell the coffee. I think the rescue train is in trouble. But I agree with him. I think eventually, I think they will find their footing. It's just taking them too long, and our people don't have the patience to wait. I think the president, I think he really genuinely, I think he's going out and trying to address the big ticket items, the roads, the rice, that kind of. But he cannot have tunnel vision doing that. There are things happening around him that he also needs to address today while he's he's getting ready for the future to deliver this country. I think what is happening to the rescue train happens to every organization. Yeah, people will fall off. I think what matters is at the end of the day, what they will accomplish for the country. I know the president still have 5.5 years going. So, I hope they will find their way. I hope our people will finally wake up and redeem themselves for these horrible decisions they've made over the years to elect these goofballs at the Capitol building who do nothing but just siphon money off the economy. I think they should organize sit-ins. I think they should occupy the Capitol building, and I'm really putting out the call. I think our people should sit into the Capitol building, let these people return the money that they took. It doesn't belong to them. It's not their money. So I think they should begin it tomorrow. They should organize sit-ins and occupy the Capitol building until they return that money. Thank you for the show. Great show. Happy Father's Day to you guys.
Sam Wallo said you were conflicted. You come around. Let's go, guys.
My time to close. Don't waste my time. My time to close now.
Okay, you can go ahead before me, Mr. Kamara.
Okay. So look here. Let me tell you Liberian post on it. You forget about Tao. This man has been talking about Liberia. He going by the man being in America for 42 years. He went to Liberia twice to visit. They may not go anywhere. They may dying here, they burying him here. But let me tell you something. No government will come in Liberia. Doesn't matter how young, how fast, how tall, or how short they are. They will come to Liberia, take over a government that will reverse it, and set it on track and start moving right away. Everything start moving in 5 months. Politicians, surrogates, and pundits will talk. That their job to talk. Let them talk. What you see going on in Liberia now is called a storming stage. People coming from England, people coming from America, people coming from all kind of part of Europe. They coming to They
No,
coming
but you lying on law.
but
No,
but
nobody
but
gonna be lying
listen
on
now, they coming together to work. They don't know each other. They have different orientation. It's called the storming stage. They will bust it, they will come together. There were times where on this platform I get off and never want to come back. All it
Why you
took
keep
me,
that in?
all it took me was to understand each and every person. I've understood Dennis Jai. I realized that Dennis Jai is not as intelligent as I thought. So I laugh a lot when he does his things, like I laugh at Mr. Gilman. He doesn't move me anymore. You know, because I thought he was intentional. I just didn't know he said have some lapses. So when people get to know people,
No, but you're not addressing the
they
issue. You're
learn.
attacking
They
personalities
learn.
now.
Hey, yeah,
You got one more minute. You got one
yeah,
more
but they
minute.
make you in the something.
No, but
You
you're not
understand?
addressing the
So
issue. You're attacking
when people
personalities.
live with
Dr. Booty,
people,
the man closer, you can tell you go ahead.
when people learn to live with people, you see Dr. Booty, you can tell that Dr. Booty, when they walk in, a part took him from Yekepa and brought him to England. So when Dr. Booty talk, I know where he's coming from when he speaks. So you see, so what I'm saying is, when you get used to people, when you get to know people, then you can live with them very well. So what's happening in the government now? Everybody trying to flex muscles and other things, and other people trying to get along with other people's system that they don't think is. So everything will come together. All of these things don't happen. All of these things don't happen within 5 months only. Okay, so don't let them lie to you. Everything will be all right. Thank you.
Mr. Morris, your
closing to address little ones.
But please, the man said, he said the government came to bust it, they don't break the bank. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say this. Everybody that knows during the elections, I supported President Villa. But in my hearts of hearts, I feel like President Boyka would have been a quote unquote more competent president. Simply due to his experience in government over the years. So I would be remiss if I didn't say I was surprised, or I am surprised at how this government has proceeded since coming to power. The habitual missteps and bad decision making is left one, wondering if indeed President Barker had the amount of experience that he said he had in government. So for me, as a young person looking from outside of the country, what hope is there? That's that's the question that I'm asking. Look, I'm fine. My family is fine. My parents are fine. So my immediate family, all of them are in the United States. So I don't have to worry about working to send money back home. If I'm sending money, it's just maybe for very extended family members. But the point here is those young people who are there, because if I go to Liberia and I see somebody, a lot of guys, I'm not better than them. It's just my current condition that I'm in. So, Mr. Taiwo, when you make the point that if you're in Liberia, you'll be further ahead. That's possible.
But the war destabilizing the socio-economic environment.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Morris.
Right. So for me, I still think that government and the governance in our country is appalling. And the reality is the young people are being led to suffer. Even the ones who go to university, do their hardest and go to university, they're left wanderers. They're left, without jobs, without dignity. So a man who should be leading a family has become a vagabond. Somebody who is supposed to be respected in his community has become the low life of the community. So some of us would have probably fall through the cracks. And I'm looking at that now as a real reality and a real possibility. So when I'm saying these things, I'm being grateful because I'm in a condition, I'm in a situation that I'm in now. And the hope that the young people put in President Villa and President Boyka, so far, I will give it to President Boyka because he's only been there 5 months, but it didn't yield any fruits for them. So they are disappointed, and I feel their pain. I empathize with them. So when I'm making these statements, I'm looking through it. If I was in Liberia right now in this current government, in the current economic situation we find ourselves in, where would I be? I would definitely stay in solidarity with the youth of the UP and the youth of the CDC, who became quickly disillusioned by the way the government were governing it. So that would be my takeaway. But kudos to this platform. I just want to, before I leave, I just want to remind people: look, this platform, we don't come on this platform because it gets the most view. We don't come on this platform because it spread the most quote unquote breaking news or the most propaganda. We come on this platform because it's consistent. The person who leads this platform is a man of high reputation. He's not a criminal who stole money. He's not somebody who is coming here giving fake news just for views. So, Mr. Wallow, we appreciate that you watch, but we are on this platform because of its integrity and the people behind the scene of this platform who have shown over the years that they're consistent and they're dedicated to bringing news and information to the Liberian people. That's why we're here, not because of that, not because of all of you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Padmore. When I was in New Jersey, in New York at the time, and people came up with this thing about how come Jerry Springer will have 1 million views and PBS got 70 views and Jerry Springer got 1 million on a day. But if you needed something factual, you go to WPBS to get it. But if you wanted to, who baby mine is this, and you are not the father, you go to Jerry Springer. But take us out, Mr. Padmore.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And by the way, you are the father, Mr. Padmore, those children.
That's okay. Happy Father's Day to you all. Look, what is the crime of Martin Colley? Really? Asking for accountability? Questioning the administration? That is the crime. This is the crime this man has committed, that he was isolated. Now he's being demonized. And
who arrested him? Was he in jail?
I said
isolated.
I said isolated.
Oh, I thought you said he committed a crime.
No, I asked him what is his crime. What
okay,
is his crime?
I want to go eat my corn bread.
Let me mute you first. So because the thing is, so you can't run a government like this. This is what you ran on. You ran on accountability and transparency.
Yeah.
And then when somebody tries to hold you to it, then that is the worst crime the person has committed. You know, we can't continue down this path. We've done this for decades. And we need a change. We need a change. We desperately need a change. You know, we are giving, they continue to hang, you know, shiny objects in front of us for us to be paying attention to while they are doing things in the back. And then when people demand accountability, then you get harassed. Nobody told Joseph Boyka to commit himself to declare and publish his assets. He said it himself. Nobody told Joseph Boyka to talk about 10,000 ITC training for 10,000 youth in IT. He said it himself. These are things that he said. And now, because he cannot be accountable for those things, he can't show any progress on those things, nobody should say anything. You know? And this is where we find ourselves. And this is why a majority of his appointees have not even declared their assets. Because the president has shown that he's not serious on these things. This is just talk. It's just political talk. I will talk what I want to talk, and don't hold me accountable. Don't ask me questions, and we'll just go from there. That's why since the rest thing happened, I don't know how many months ago it happened, we are just getting a rest committee now, you know. And the fact of the matter is, look, when you have a country where majority of the citizens are under the age of 40, why are you hiring 80-year-old people? It's like instead of picking from the bigger part, you are picking from the small part. To do what? And you are looking for innovative, brand new ideas to solve problems that you've been struggling with. How are you going to get that when you taking old people who've been there forever, who have? So now what are we doing? But you know, this is the government that Liberian people picked. This is the government that Liberian people chose. And you know, like they say, you know, there are the consequences. You know, elections have consequences. So now we have to bear with him. The Liberian people will see him for who they are. And I hope they make a better choice come 2029, that we don't continue down this road. But other than that, thank you guys so much for joining. Really appreciate you. Happy Father's Day, you know. And against what that Christian man I just left from here just now said, look, Dennis Jar is one of the most honest an integral man that I've ever met, you know, and I will stand with him any day, on any show, you know, that he produces. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Jerome, please, I hope FOL will give me a second of a shameless plug, but I want to send a shout out to my brothers here my brothers and sisters of Nebraska. Happy Father's Day, and thank you to my sisters for a beautiful convention. I'm getting ready to join them out there for the barbecue. But
what's Nebraska?
Nebraska is the Liberian Association of Catholic Brother and Sister Knights in the Americas. So we're all Knights of St. John and ladies.
Okay.
Yeah, we gather every year. You gotta be a Catholic, and then you gotta also be a Knight. And
without promoting no secret society on the platform.
There's no secret society. It's a fraternal organization. Happy Father's Day, Jimmy. I think he's wishing all of us happy Father's Day. Thank you. Yeah.
My brother is the president of, I guess, the leader of Knight of St. John's of St. Peter in Buchanan.
Buchanan, okay.
He's coming to the convention. I think it's next month.
It's July, yeah. It's in July, yeah. The Supreme Convention, yeah.
Oh, if you call that Supreme Convention, okay.
Yeah.
For those who are not Catholic, we're learning something new.
No, we encourage you to come to the evening program. We just the ball.
Mr. Gimme, just 5 seconds.
Yeah, and by the way, the convention is going to be in Buffalo, New York. Yes, Mr. Tower.
Yeah, just 5 seconds. Look, something I think we are making a mistake here. We keep trying to blame the Liberian people for voting in a government. That they vote, the Liberian people have no control over this stuff. It doesn't matter who you're voting. Let us actually have this foundational understanding of this stuff. You can vote Cummins. None of the guys in that country can do anything. We have to actually look at the system that we have, and the system have to be restructured.
Mr.
It doesn't matter who you put in.
Mr. Tao, stealing is an individual choice.
No, we're not talking about. Look at what he
I don't know, but if you look at a criminal and you bring him to manage your affairs, I think you just invite me.
All of them, my brother, all the people that started, most of them were not known to be criminals. Once you get in, the system corrupts you. So we have to look at the holistic analysis of that system and say, look, this part don't work. This one, we need to dissect that stuff and then reorganize it. On the program here, I was watching, I think it was Talking Friday. Somebody, Dennis Jar, asked a question. So we need to develop a new generation of people. And in order for us to do that, we have to look at all of our institutions. The educational system is outdated. Why are we saying studying psychology and sociology?
Okay, guys, that would be another show for another day. What I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen, is today is Father's Day. We all are going home to have a great time. Even if they give you the bill to pay, that's part of your responsibility. My girls will take me to the worst beautiful restaurant by the sea and everything. That way, when the bill comes in, Daddy, you brought your credit card with you. So that's what they do. But it is good to be a father. You don't get enough respect. You don't get enough credit. Whatever it is, you are never good for your mother-in-law, but it's all right. You'll be good. So enjoy the day. God bless. Let's do this again next Saturday. Next Sunday, God's willing. Same time, same place. God bless.
Welcome back, Bad Boy Padmo.
We all Liberians. Liberia is our home.